Have you ever had a feeling your teammates expected more of you than you can give? Well, this was one of these games for me. It started out when Bloodhound dropped us at Barometer, but he didn't seem to be willing to press the forward button to get us down to the ground faster. I disengaged and started looting. As usual, my first find was a Mozambique, so I went on a quest to find something better. Cause you see, in my skill level, I need my absolute best performing guns to even have a slight chance to overcome my bad aim and my non-existent strategic skill. After about 4 hours of running around like a headless chicken, not realizing I was drifting further and further apart from my teammates, suddenly Fuse pinged an enemy. And within a split second, he was down. I started to run towards the fight, but it was too far away, and it didn't take long before Bloodhound was down too. This looked bad, but I was determined to save my teammates or die trying. Well, the latter possibility was more likely to happen, but I didn't care. I just jumped in. Down. Who put this gap here? It wasn't here before. Fuse was pinging vigorously, and I imagined the enemy lurking around him, waiting for me. I leaped forward, ready to face the enemy, but there was no one there. As I was reviving Fuse, he pinged one more time, just for good measurement. But I had no time to dwell on this because in some magical way, Bloodhound was still alive, and I wanted to revive him before it's too late. But the enemy was on them. If there is one thing I learned the hard way, was not to run straight towards the enemy. So I went for a flank, but by the time I got there, the enemy wasn't there anymore. And Fuse was down again. I was beginning to feel like this team was not only better, but scary better. And then the pinging festival was back. I finished the revive as fast as I could and ran back to help Fuse. I tried to fight whoever was killing my teammate, but I just couldn't see anyone. It was like a party I wasn't allowed to join. So I went for a third revive. As Bloodhound went down, again, I decided I did not want to play this revive game anymore. This ends now. It was time to pull out the big gun, which is Sheila. The big gun is Sheila. Catalyst went for strategic dancing, but Sheila was not impressed. I managed to end this circus and Fuse swapped in for the purple shield from the box of my kill, but I wasn't mad. I'm not mad, I tell ya! I respawned teammate and we were off to find a new fight. And by the time Ring 2 was closing, we found enemies in River Center. Finally, a chance to use my actual weapons for the first time in this game. Fuse pinged and I fired, and I kept firing until I managed to hit this standing still target. Amazing aim. Let's see this again. I barely had time to reload when Bloodhound started taking fire. It was a sweaty raid. I initiated a fight with her to draw her away from my one shot away from dead teammate, but she seemed to have smelled his blood and pushed forward, only to have the door shut in her face. Fuse ulted her and she was trapped. I was starting to feel like we had a real chance at winning. Never mind. I tried to defend the revive from whomever was outside the ring shooting at us, but I just couldn't see anything through the orange mist. But the worst thing about this whole situation was that we were too stupid to realize we were getting surrounded. Stuck between this Mirage squad that came out of nowhere and the squad that somehow managed to stay outside of Ring 3 without dying for 3 hours, there was literally nowhere safe. We were sitting ducks in here, so we needed to move, and we needed to move right now. While I was running for my pathetic life, both my teammates went down again for the 100th time in this game. And I realized I was expected to carry. I'm not the carrying type. I'm the type who picks up the gun and runs after a sweaty somebody. And then all hell broke loose. and I barely survived it thanks to my amped cover. I put down my wall as Bloodhound crawled to me. I waited for him desperately, hoping to save what was left from our incompetent squad. Well, it seems hope was not on the menu tonight. Once again I was alone, but this wasn't my lowest. When you're as bad as me, as long as you're on your feet and not in a box, you're alright. I grabbed the banners and got the hell out of that duck pond. Fear not, I had a plan. There was still one more respawn beacon inside the next ring. All I had to do was get there as fast as I could. I put down my jump tower thingy and made sure I wasn't getting chased. I flew into waterhole and quickly went up the zipline. But as I approached the beacon, I realized I was not alone. And I may not have teammates, but I still had Sheila. Thanks to Sheila, one was down, but I couldn't see a goddamn thing through the fire. But then, I heard the sound of the zipline behind me. I quickly dismounted and faced the new enemy. After a clumsy face-off, they were down as well. And shut up, I didn't fall, I meant to jump down so I could heal. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Well, I'm not gonna lie, things were looking bad, but I wasn't ready to give up on the respawn, so I decided to approach it from a different angle. As I was making my way around the hillside, I realized none of my knocks turned to kills, which meant they all got revived, which meant they were all waiting for me up there. This was not a good sign. But maybe, just maybe, if I could eliminate one or two of them, I will be able to sneak in a revive. As I approached, I realized the beacon was surrounded by enemies, so I tried to thin up the herd. Caustic threw his stinky bomb on me and I had no choice but to retreat. As it turned out, there was an easy kill just around the corner. My favorite kind of kill. But this time, I had to make sure he stays dead. This resulted in taking a massive amount of damage from Fuse's tactical, and I remembered why I hated Fuse so much. I retreated to lick my wounds behind a rock and cursed myself for not finishing up this tactical spamming monster when I had the chance. I went in for a closer look and decided this was it. This was my chance to bring back my teammates. But then Fuse's tactical struck again and I realized I needed to deal with him before I could. So there you have it. I'm not good enough to carry, but if you want to see how I can win, click this video here.